Purpose. What comes to mind when you hear that word? Purpose can be defined as the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Every person on this planet has their own purpose. How do you feel when you stop to think about your own personal purpose? Some people might struggle to find theirs, and it can take a very serious toll on the psyche. I firmly believe that passion and purpose are strongly intertwined, and having something that you thrive off of doing can not only help you find the career that you're meant to have, but can help you find a sense of security and belonging. For a long time, I struggled to find my personal purpose. All throughout my schooling, I combated bullying. I felt like I was alone and like I was a waste of space. I had no drive to work, I was severely depressed, and felt that past graduation I'd have no use in life. I was completely unable to connect emotionally to the things that I did day in and day out. Yes, there were things that I enjoyed doing, but I couldn't get passionate about anything I did. I'd been learning to play piano for years, but over time my love for music had started to dwindle. I'd been gearing up for a career as a music therapist, but I could never find myself getting excited about it. My music teacher would constantly expound about how it was the best field for me and that I'd be a fool to not go into it. I didn't know what else to do with myself at the time, so I figured why not follow her advice. And that's what I did, even though my gut told me it was completely the wrong thing to do. When I made the move from a traditional high school to the Seven Oaks Met School, I was presented with the opportunity to explore career paths that had piqued my interest in the past. My very first internship was in an elementary school music room where I got to work alongside a music educator and teach kids. It was at that internship that my passion for music began to be reignited. I got to work to prepare the students for their upcoming spring concert. And when the day came that I saw all of my students on stage singing and playing their instruments together, it made my heart swell with pride. Teaching felt right for me. During my grade 11 year, I and my classmate Ali were approached by our principal regarding an opportunity to represent the school at an upcoming event. Music Month, which is an annual celebration of music education within schools, was fast approaching, and the school wanted a group of students to perform at it. The Met School didn't have its own music program, so Ali and I, being the resident music nerds, were tasked with getting a group of students together to perform. So we held an audition, and in October of that year, the a cappella group Met School Vibe was founded. Vibe began with only 5 members, including Ali and myself. The music that the group sang was arranged by the 2 of us, and together we taught our students how to read music. They learned the songs by singing back phrases as we sang them to them. Before long, our Music Month performance was upon us. We stood on the steps of the Manitoba Legislative Building and sang our hearts out, and we knocked it out of the ballpark. Vibe continued to pick up momentum, and we performed at several more events that year. A flame was ignited within me. With every step forward the group took, that flame grew. I decided that I wanted to keep doing this. For the first time in years, I was enjoying what I was doing with my life. The following year, Ali and I ran Vibe again, but this time we made sure it was a credit course for all of the students who were involved. By the time auditions closed, the number of enrolled students had doubled. We decided that year that we would register Met School Vibe to perform at the Brandon Jazz Festival, which is an annual festival that schools from all across Manitoba send their students to. In March of 2018, after months of intensive work, Met School Vibe stood on the main stage of the Brandon Jazz Festival, and the air around us was electric as we sang. I couldn't stop smiling the entire time. After our performance, I was overcome with emotion. I felt something inside me shift and click. Teaching vocal groups was what I wanted to do. It wasn't just my passion, it was also my purpose. I promised myself then and there that I would become the best educator that I could, and someday I would return to the Met School to continue teaching Met School Vibe. Every Everyone has the potential to take their passions and make them into a healthy and happy career. The key to a happy and fulfilling life, as cliche as it sounds, is following your heart. Now just hear me out on this one. Your purpose is not something that you need to fabricate. It's already within you, waiting to be realized. The first step to discovering your purpose is determining your passions. Ask yourself these two questions. What do I love to do? And what feels natural? I spent years gearing up for a career in music therapy because other people told me that it was the right thing for me to do. But every step that I took in that direction felt completely wrong. When I had the opportunity to teach music for the first time, it felt like everything was right in my life. It took just as much work to teach music as it did to study music therapy, but the difference there was I had flow and I had confidence as opposed to experiencing constant setbacks and constant frustrations. Step 2 is determining what you want to contribute to the world and how you want to do it. I aspire to enrich other people's lives through music education. And I accomplished this in high school through teaching that school vibe, and I plan to continue to accomplish this through a career in choral education. The way that you express your desired contribution to the world might be similar to the way that other people around you do, or it might be completely different. Follow your gut instinct. Your intuition will lead you down the path that's best for you. You just have to be open to experiencing it. Another way that you can determine your purpose is through listing the times that you felt happiest in your life. Analyze that list and find the common thing that links it all together. Some of the times that I feel happiest are when I'm giving a presentation, when I'm tutoring, or when I'm training my dog. Now those things might seem a little bit random, but there's one element that pulls them all together, and that is educating. Happiness is like a GPS. Follow what makes you feel joyful, proud, and fulfilled, and you'll be led where you need to be. Once you've figured out what you're passionate about, it's time to implement it into your life. Now don't feel pressured to overturn your life all at once. Take it slow. Break it all into small steps. Make time daily to work on your passions. Set aside specific time to work exclusively on passion projects. Music composition is a very big part of my passion, so I make sure that every day I set aside the time to do at least a little bit of composing. Your passion projects don't have to be huge. They just have to be enough to remind you that you are capable of accomplishing your goals. It's completely okay to not know what your direction in life is. Keep that in mind. Not everyone knows right away, and not everyone is meant to know right away. It's okay to explore and question things if they don't feel right to you. The only person who can truly know what you will be happiest doing in life is you. Don't be afraid to let your heart lead you. Let what you love influence your path. Trust yourself, and your passions will lead you to your purpose. Thank you.